and welcome to the Daily Space Weather, folks. I'm your host, smAsho, aka Dan. Thanks for tuning in to the Daily Space Weather. We're starting things out looking at the sun in 193 angstroms, and we see a coronal mass ejection on the way toward Earth. We'll let you know momentarily if it's Earth-facing truly or not. We've got a beta-class sunspot, an alpha-class sunspot, an evaporated sunspot, and more. Here's the coronal mass ejection we're talking about, and we're going to cover in a minute exactly where we expect it to go. There you can see it from the perspective of stereo A. And we'll show you what's going on with that in a minute. First, let's look at the fields. Here's the 171 angstroms view on HelioViewer. There are the fields. And sunspot 2762 is beta class. Sunspot 2760 is alpha class. And sunspot 2761 is no longer there. Now deorganized to a plage. There's the 304 angstroms view. Let's take a look at some custom HelioViewer movies. Here's the current state of affairs with the fields. Tiny bit of magnetic mixing happening up there in sunspot 2762. Otherwise, pretty low levels of activity besides that coronal mass ejection. And here's the 304 angstroms view of the same area. Allow me to vanish. And lastly, we've got the 171 angstroms view of all three active regions. Again, 2 sunspots and 1 plage. We've got lots more stuff to cover. First, please take a moment to press like and subscribe if you enjoy the content on YouTube. Please visit our links such as smAsho.org and Subscribestar and Patreon and BitChute, as we've got exclusive content all over social media. There's the BitChute page. Please subscribe over there. And thanks to our new subscribers, we're also on Twitter, twitter.com/smAsho. And let's talk about assisting mankind by advancing the study of predictive phenomenon in order to optimize value, reduce risk and liability, save lives and resources, and adapt, no matter what the adversity is. So, one of the ways that we adapt is by citing the truth about central banks. By the way, the centralization of the money, or more accurately currency, since, for example, Federal Reserve notes are not money, they're only currency. Central banks cause boom-bust cycles, and the artificial manipulation of interest rates, namely the prime lending rate, removes supply and demand from the largest block of business in the world, the interest on international and corporate loans. That's not capitalism. Welcome to the plutocratic corporatocracy, folks. Capitalism died in 1913 on December 23rd when Woodrow Wilson signed the Federal Reserve Act into law. Are you a pearl clutcher? Do you follow us on Instagram? Are you a complete COVIDiot like this guy here, who decided to dress up as a ghost to scare people to stay home? That's a moronic idea. Shout out to Bullet Restaurant, located in eastern Salisbury Township, Bethlehem, Pennsylvania, that is. Yeah, Bullet Restaurant. Check it out on Instagram. We're looking to order some food from you soon, Bullet. Shout out to you. By the way, the government works for you, not vice versa, so don't with Minutemen. You'd regret it in so many ways. In the beginning of change, the patriot is a scarce man, brave, hated, and scorned. When his cause succeeds, however, the timid join him, for then it costs nothing to be a patriot. A quote from Mark Twain. We're also on Facebook, and we're on minds.com/smAsho. We just re-uploaded and boosted our meme about government shutdowns. Boy, that's a nice, awful nice government you got there. Be a shame if it shuts down, if you know what I mean. And we're also on Locals, so check us out there. smAshomash.locals.com, Dave Rubin's new website. Please join over there as we've created our own local, and we'll be adding more and more exclusive content there as well. Let's take another look at the local yellow dwarf. We're going to look at it in 94 angstroms here. And this will give you a good high temporal resolution view of all that activity. And you can see another active region rising there, right on the solar equator, really. And again, two sunspot groups, both 2760 and 2762, are still real sunspots. Next, looking at the KP index, down to 0. And let's take a quick moment to look at cosmic rays, as we haven't for a couple days. Here's the Apatity and Barentsburg neutron monitors. Downtick over the past 30 days at Apatity, and a downtick at Barentsburg also over the past 30. Next we'll look at Mexico City, and then we'll look at Oulu. There's Mexico City, downtick there over the past 30 days as well. And here is Oulu, Finland, and DOMC, Antarctica. There's Oulu, flat on the past 30 days there. DOMC, Antarctica, flat on the past 30 days there. If you want to look at it yourself, don't take our word for it. Look up the network of cosmic ray stations. And today, I got lost. All right, I apologize. And Comet Swan has now become visible. And here's a fantastic high-res image of it. We may have to include that one in the thumbnail, as it is a delight. Check it out, Comet Swan, now visible with the naked eye. This is from spaceweather.com, and that image was from Farm Tivoli in Namibia. Gerald Raymond. So check it out, Comet Swan, and we're here for the 10.7 centimeter radio flux, which is at 70 solar flux units. Small increase there in radio flux, as we forecasted yesterday. Here's the position of planets and so on in the solar system right now on April 30th. There they are in 1 week, as Mars is swinging past Jupiter and Venus is creeping up on Earth. Next, we're going to look at Venus creeping up on the LASCO C2. And you can see that coronal mass ejection looks like it will mainly miss the Earth to the west. As you can see, practically no ejecta on the left side. Almost all of the ejecta headed out to the right side, indicating a likely miss to the west. Here you can see the same information there on the LASCO C2. Little higher res zoomed in view of the same stuff. And again, no real ejecta on the left side, indicating a likely miss to the west. Here's where stars are and so forth. If you've got a low horizon before sunrise, you should be able to see Saturn, Jupiter, and Mars. And we saw a little bit of X-ray flaring going on since yesterday's video, as forecasted. Nothing even high enough to be considered a B-class flare, and no kind of proton flux increases, no surprise there. And we see it ramping down of the solar wind to very, very low velocity. First at density, right around 3 protons per cubic centimeter, and the velocity below 300 kilometers a second there, down to 284 kilometers a second. Very low, weak solar wind. And here you see the magnetosphere movie. It's 4 hours of data, and frankly I'm surprised that there's this much pressure in the magnetosphere, and we are expecting a significant electron storm. Since that refreshed, I'm going to let that play through. Please take a moment to touch your face. It's therapeutic. Wash your hands, touch your face. Wash your hands, Touch your face. I touch my face 4,000 times a day now. It's a goal. Anyway, weak magnetosphere. Here's the geospace magnetic perturbations coming a little closer to home. And this other 4 hours of data brought to you by University of Michigan. During this polar excursion, we look at this data every day. If you want to see what happened on a given date in the past couple of years, go look at one of our older space weather videos. And we've made playlists, by the way, on YouTube now, and we're adding more and more videos to those at the same time. So you don't have to scroll as much, and you can find the category of video you're looking for, whether it's a cosmology segment or a censored versus sinkhole. That is an eat, and that is a hole in the ground. The vulgarity-free section where we talk about whatever we want. Next, looking at the GOES magnetometer, we're seeing pretty spiky movement here. No kind of, normally you see a more of a smooth sort of a thing with the GOES magnetometer, and we're continuing to see these spiky patterns here as a result of the South Pole oriented current sheet. So looking at the Gong2 data, you can see the whole current sheet still shown in red, charged to the South Pole polarity. So nothing new going on there. The data is 2 hours and 17 minutes old. Here's a line of sight field plot. And you can see some little wobbling happening here on the eastern portion of the B field, shown in blue. And that all has to do with all of those, most of that activity being on or north of the solar equator. So the strongest sunspot we see there is 2762. That's the beta class one. And let's move on to electrons. There's the relativistic electrons, which are still surprisingly low. And the total electron content forecast, still surprisingly low. So again, we're waiting to see the electron storm here. We're expecting to see this get into warning levels within the next 36 hours, especially with the solar wind speed and density as low as they are. The electrons have got to be out there somewhere, and they should be on their way. Next, looking at the ionosphere, here's 6 hours of data, and it's continuing to look anomalous and wobbly, especially around the South Atlantic anomaly area. So the nighttime side there, especially by the South Atlantic anomaly, is looking quite odd. Daytime side looking pretty normal. Let's bring up the latest image. There's the latest image. It's at 8 o'clock UT. Next, we're at windy.com looking at pressure cells, letting this advance into the GFS forecast about 24 hours. Please leave a comment. Let us know your location. We're located in Lehigh Valley, Pennsylvania. Here's where the GFS forecast anticipates things to be at 12 noon tomorrow. Anticyclone off the coast of the eastern U.S. Next, looking at earthquakes of the past 24. We're going to scroll up the list. We see nothing over a 6 magnitude once again. And we're only going to report deep quakes or oddities. So there's a deep quake at Fiji. It's at over 580 kilometers depth and a 4.6 magnitude. There's a deep one in Argentina, 201 kilometers depth, 4.8 magnitude. And just bear with me while I scroll up the list here, folks. It's a 4.3 in Argentina coming next, as we see deep quakes going on constantly in the South Atlantic, in the western portion of South America. And lastly, coming in just before we did show prep here, it's a 4.2, another deep quake at Colombia. It's a 4.2 magnitude at 157.4 kilometers depth. Next, we'll do volcanoes. Mount Abico back on the list, exploding, producing a 12,000-foot plume. Mount Aso producing a 6,000-foot plume. Revenador exploding, 14,000-foot flight level there. Please don't pole vault the caldera. And it's a big-time volcanic downtick so far today. And let's start talking about covidiocy. Please share with us your favorite covidiotic stories at smashomash.com/forum. We've got a whole section on it. And we don't print sharticles. We expose sharticles for the nonsense that they print. And let's get into how to destroy this thing. See that thing right there? Okay. See that thing right there? Well, that causes that to get destroyed. And hey, thanks, son. We appreciate it. Let's talk about some assets. First, cryptocurrency. Bitcoin has gone way up. Now up to 91.72 according to the Coinbase exchange. Let's look at Ethereum to see if it's following suit. Here's Ethereum on Coinbase. And a similar chart there, at least in the recent past. Don't go chasing waterfalls, folks. And next we're just going to look at silver. And we see, once again, we see a fairly proportional set of moves between precious metals, cryptocurrency, and the stock market, which is, things that make you go, Is that a thing that makes you go, folks? Do you understand the first thing about economics? Have you been to smAsho.com? Have you been to the forum? Well, we've updated it once again this morning. Remdesivir just became the first drug to show a clear-cut effect in treating COVID-19, as patients on the antiviral drug Remdesivir recovered about 30% faster than those on placebo. So that's one story. We've got three, I think. Second story is about Elon Musk. What in the F? Elon Musk blasts fascist, undemocratic shelter-in-place orders. He's mad because Tesla can't build cars. And hey, Pennsylvania voters, what do you think of Governor Wolf's color-coded reopening plan? Well, I think it's nonsense. And I think Governor Wolf should be recalled, along with practically everything he says, because of extreme incompetence and a complete lack of orderly planning or informing Pennsylvania what is expected to happen. And last but not least, from SciTech Daily, researchers crack the genetic signature using AI. So anyway, check it out. It's at smashamash.com/forum. It's in the free-for-all thread, free-for-all forum, rather, and that topic is pinned. Let's move on to more data. Here's the jet stream of the Western world. And check out the anticyclone over western Alaska. It's a fairly low-pressure anticyclone. And look at the extreme meridional jet stream flow. That looks like the diagram of meridional jet stream flow right there. All over the place. Making places unexpectedly warm and unexpectedly hot, and making people who know nothing about atmospheric physics conjecture about the climate. Next, looking at the eastern world's jet streams. And you see some big splits. You see some backwards jet stream flow here. Doubled up, tripled up jet streams over the southern hemisphere. Here's a water vapor map for Europe and Africa. Here's a water vapor map for the Far East and Oceania. And I think I just screwed you over, folks. All right, I apologize. Let's go back here real quick. Here are the eastern jet streams. Here's the last article on smashamash.com/forum. All right, I apologize. We got to keep moving on, folks. cnbc.com/markets is where you find that market data. And here is the lightning currently coming down or going up or whatever you think it's doing. Lightningmaps.org. Next time you hear thunder, check it out. And here's the U.S. Doppler radar map, and we see 3 lines of strong storms there over the southeastern U.S., as well as some creeping across Pennsylvania, headed my way, as I expect it to be soggy coming soon. And next, looking at the U.S. water vapor map, we see that extreme meridional jet stream flow playing out here. Check out this U-shaped area of dry air. It's not chemtrails. It's not from HARP. It's from the jet stream, which is ultimately a function of Hall currents in the atmosphere. If you don't know what Hall currents are, just look up Birkeland currents, look at the Wikipedia article, and it'll tell you all about it. And today we're going to look at the area over eastern Kentucky, as that is where there's a leading edge pushing things to the east. And there's a scenario there that's affecting me. Once again, I would note The Hall current streamers here, perpendicular to the mode of motion of the water in the atmosphere. Standard issue capacitance in the atmosphere there, folks. The entire universe isn't electric, but some things are, and the atmosphere is one of them. And hey, Smash team, thanks for tuning into the Smash stream. We apologize for any technical difficulties that we may have experienced. Please don't forget to share on your social media. Press like and subscribe on YouTube. Leave us a comment on whatever platform you're viewing the content. And look for another episode of The Diamond Anvil coming today. So probably around 3 or 4 p.m. we expect to put out another episode of The Diamond Anvil. So look for that. Thanks to our patrons. We are on the final day of all public posts. So right now, both on Patreon and Subscribestar, throughout the month of April, which is only for less than a day now, folks, all the posts are public. So there's no need to pay for anything right now. Starting tomorrow, it goes back to tiers. Patreon has a $1 and a $9.99 a month tier. Subscribestar has a $3 tier, and never the twain shall meet. Let's look at the local yellow dwarf here in the intensity gram image. Here's Sunspot 2760, and I think that's becoming a beta class sunspot. We'll look at the fields in a minute. In fact, let's go there right now. And that's now a beta class sunspot. It's official. So we've got umbra here, and we've got umbra here. Yep, so that's going to be considered a beta class sunspot now. And this one up here is beta class 2. That's 2762. Here's a synoptic map, by the way. You can find this at solarham.net. Or if you just type in synoptic map, it's part of the space weather something or other. And let's take a look at 2762 real quick. And that may have decayed to an alpha class. I still think that's beta class. There's a little bit of magnetic mixing happening right there, and that may be enough to keep that beta class throughout the day. So there is a little slight chance of some solar flares throughout the day today, folks. We're going to view one more image here, one more 48-hour video from the SDO. It's the 131 angstroms. I am out. Thanks for tuning in. Remember, stare at the sun, don't drink. If you do drink, don't drive. And since it'll never be now again, may that solar wind be at your back. And may that atherosclerosis and other cardiovascular diseases be absent from your health profile.